And in the Caucasus Mountains there is one pass, only one, and it's called the Dariel Gorge. And that's where Zulkarnain built the barrier. And Gog and Magog were then contained, or to use the language of a game called chess. Zulkarnain checkmated them. It is not sufficient to say that Gog and Magog are the European Christians and European Jews. No. Because amongst the European Christians and European Jews, there will be those who become Muslims, there will be those who are our friends and allies. Do not make the mistake of declaring of all Jews that they are your enemies and all Christians, they are your enemies. That will be quite foolish. Let's fine-tune to try to locate Gog and Magog. We have to go to the Caucasus Mountains. And there at the Caucasus Mountains we have to look for a people with power. There have to be a people whose power was greater than any other power in the world at that time. We have to look for a people who will eventually be moving from that northern area and moving towards Jerusalem. Shortly after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, something very mysterious happened in that part of the world that historians have chosen to bury. A tribe called the Khazar chose to embrace Judaism. And so the world witnessed for the first time the very strange phenomenon of a non-Semitic people becoming Jews. Non-Semitic becoming Jews. The genetic research is available on the internet. Anyone can study it. You had conferences, medical conferences, which were organized to study these people, their genetic composition. They had a genetic composition which was unique in all of mankind. No people in the world were like them. This is scientific research. And these people, the Khazar, chose to convert to Judaism, but they did so not for any religious reasons. They were not so much interested in the Kitab and to follow the law. They embraced Judaism for purposes of political expediency. They were sandwiched between Islam and Christianity, Byzantine Christianity, and they chose Judaism. These European Jews who have no racial, biological connection with the Banu Israel multiplied. وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَلَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ Nasl, they multiplied and breeded to such an extent that today 9 in every 10 Jews in the world, 90% or more, are European Jews. They outnumber the Semitic Jews by 9 to 1 or 10 to 1. these European Jews, if you look at the list of names of Nobel Prizes for science, for literature, would you name it, you will find that these are people who far exceed the rest of mankind in their intellectual brilliance, in their academic achievements, in their scientific research. They are a people different from the rest of mankind. And then you find that these Khazar who became Jews also chose to become Christians. So you have the Khazar infiltrating the camp of Judaism and infiltrating the camp of Christianity as well. And from the ranks of these Khazar Jews and Khazar Christians, the emergence of the Jewish-Christian alliance can be traced. It is this Jewish-Christian alliance, Khazar, which eventually gives birth to the Zionist movement. The Zionist movement has absolutely nothing to do with Banu Israel. It is an essentially and an exclusively European achievement. It is these Khazar who, having become Jews, first Jews and then Christians, who built an empire that was the most powerful in Europe and Central Asia. And when the armies of Islam had simultaneously defeated the two superpowers in the world, the Persian Empire and Byzantium, and had emerged as the most powerful military force in the world, Khazar blocked our way. We could not defeat them. And so it would be quite correct to say that the Khazar demonstrated a military power without equal in the world at that time. It is from this part of the world that they spread out. They spread out to Eastern Europe, they spread to Russia, and eventually crossed the sea to the United States. And they are at the heart of the revolutions which transformed Europe from Christendom into modern Western civilization. They are at the heart of the Bolshevik revolution in Russia, which overturned Christianity in Russia. They are at the heart of the French Revolution, in consequence of which the back of the Christian church is broken. The prohibition of riba is now consigned to the garbage bin. And they are at the heart of the creation of the Zionist movement. It is these Khazar, Jewish and Christian, who now move to the Holy Land, assisted by a strange and mysterious Jewish Holocaust. And the history of that will one day be revealed on Judgment Day. How much was their input into the Holocaust? So that you have an exodus now of these European Jews to the Holy Land. When the state of Israel comes into being, who it is who controls power in Israel? not the Oriental Jews, the darker skinned Jews. No, they are second-class citizens. The ones who control power in Israel are the European Jews. There is the last part of this analysis, which is absolutely fascinating. Here is the hadith that after Nabi Isa alayhi salam returns and after he kills Dajjal, the hadith says, فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ. Allah will send Gog and Magog. I think the meaning here is He will send them now to their final destruction. This is the sending. And they will pass by the Sea of Galilee, which is when it's going to go dry. And Nabi Isa alayhi salam will be targeted. They won't spare him. And he will go up the mountain, which is a mountain in Baytul Maqdis, Sahih Muslim. And the believers will go up the mountain with him. And Gog and Magog will then say, now listen carefully, we have killed those on earth. Now let us kill those in the heavens above. And they will shoot their arrows up into the sky. And Allah will allow the arrows to come back down with blood. And then Nabi Isa alayhi salam will make dua to Allah to destroy them. And Allah will send something like a tiny little insect, a virus, something, which attacks them at the top of the spine. And they display an amazing incapacity to defend themselves. The immune system seemed to have collapsed completely. And this little insignificant biological attack, that's all it takes. And they fall down, paralyzed. And by next morning, not only are they dead, but their bodies are decomposing and smelling stink. And then Allah's Messenger, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, will pray to Allah and He will send birds, prehistoric birds, whose necks will be like camels. And they will pick up these bodies and take them where Allah ordains that they be disposed of.
This occupation in Palestine is wrong, is illegal, it's against Judaism, it's against humanity. Oppressing an entire people is totally wrong. According to Judaism, to create a sovereign homeland for the Jews is contrary to Jewish teachings, because Jews are forbidden to create a state of our own. We are in a divinely decreed exile. We plead with our president, we plead with the world to stand up for justice, to stand up for what is right. And we pray that this occupation should stop soon in our days, and we hope that this should be peaceful with no more suffering of anyone involved.